Howdy, howdy. Today is, crap, what day is today? So, see, that was 27th. I think today's the 27th of June, 2019. And I haven't updated in a while, so my bad. But it's been a little chaotic. Okay, so you remember I hurt my knee, and then missing work because I had knee surgery on the 25th of May? Yeah. Well, it didn't take. Well, it took, I guess, sort of, but I could not lift my leg in the, like this kind of way, like forward. Hello, ladies. So, I had to have a second surgery on June 7th. So, a couple weeks ago. Where they had to take a dead person's Achilles tendon and a little tiny metal plate and some little metal screws. Those, I haven't seen, obviously, any of this, but because it's internal. But so they had to put that stuff in there to reinforce and everything. And so then, day before yesterday, which is why I'm pretty sure today's the 27th because it's the 25th, I had my follow-up. And they said, okay, it looks like things are going good, but we're going to go slow with this. Be safe and blah, blah, blah. So I still can't go to work for another 2 weeks. So I won't be back to work until July 9th. For some reason, I thought the paperwork said July 7th, but apparently that's like a Saturday or something. So, July 9th. Which means one of the paid holidays that we get, I'm going to miss. And I don't think I get paid for those if, I'm not working any of the days around it. Because money is at a not having any kind of situation. Because, I'm on the FMLA, Federal Medical Leave Act, I think. Though I keep thinking about the part that's the FML, which makes you think of the F My Life, whole separate issue. And it's kind of doing that a little bit. I mean, in some ways, it's kind of nice to be able to be here and be able to snuggle my puppies all day. Because they're good girls. But, one thing is, you do not realize how often you bend your leg until you have to spend a few weeks unable to bend it at all. It's like, man, I've been taking the whole leg bendy thing for granted. It's like when I first had a back issue. And it was like, wow, you really take your back for granted until it decides to, complain about it. So anyway, so I have been trying to, be as productive as you can while sitting on your butt all day. Because as of the check-in, I still not supposed to be put a lot of weight on it. Now, after the surgery, but before this checkup, I was supposed to keep my leg 100% straight, don't bend it at all, and only put no more than 2 or 3 pounds of toe touch weight to help steady you on your crutches. I did that best I could, but as a klutz, sometimes I lose my balance, and it's taken a little more than barely a toe touch to, catch myself. So, but now I'm allowed to put up to 1/4 of my weight on my leg, but still keep it straight in the brace when moving around. Up to 1/4 of my weight on the left leg, which the way I weigh, that's still a lot to put on there, but whatever. And what's the other thing? When sitting, bend it up to 30 degrees, and then next week I can increase that to 40 degrees, and then the week after that to 70 degrees. Let's see what here. So 30, then 40, then 70, and then the week after that, 90. Now that's assuming everything stretches the way we want it to and blah, blah, blah. And then I got another follow-up in 3 weeks from now, which is a week after I should have already been going back to work. Now, my car broke down the day before the surgery when I had to go pick Chloe up from the vet because she had to go under anesthesia to get her teeth cleaned because apparently her breed is genetically predisposed to have nasty, stanky mouth that you gotta brush every day. Which, having Shelby first and not having to do that, I didn't realize I'd have to do that with her because I thought the dental treats that I give them were taking care of it because Shelby never had a problem. But apparently Shelby just has really good genes. Yes, she does. So anyway, so my car broke down, right when I was leaving work. to go pick her up. And I had to pull into a parking lot, like 2 parking lots next to work. Call work. Luckily I work at a place that has a bunch of mechanics. So one of the guys came over and he got under the car and used some kind of special kind of rope or strap or something that he had in his truck to tie the hangy thing that was dragging to not drag. And he just enough that I could drive it back to the work parking lot, so that at least I could, if I have to leave it somewhere, I could leave it somewhere that hopefully, nobody's gonna like have it towed off to somewhere, So, I got it, but it was still really loud. It was really loud because apparently it's like the exhaust manifold or something. It was like words, and I try to understand, but my brain goes, cars, no comprehension for you. So anyway, so I drove over, and when they have a chance, they're gonna try to fix. They think it's just like something about slipping a pipe over the 2 things and then welding a couple spots, and then that should fix it. But they've been swamped, which I don't think has anything to do with me missing work, because I don't work in the garage, but I know that I feel so guilty about like everybody having to like fill in and cover for me while I'm out. And I was like, I could totally work remotely. I mean the hardest thing I'm on is aspirin, like straight aspirin, not fancy. I don't know, maybe there's a fancy aspirin out there or something. But apparently maybe it's because it's a construction company, like you're out or you're in. You can't like have a partial with like limitations or something. So that, so I can't even like work remotely or anything, which would really help if I could, because I've cashed out in both 2 weeks of vacation time, which is what I accrue for a year. So like I've used up all my vacation time to cash that in to have a little bit of money so that I could pay my utilities and stuff. And unfortunately, that did not leave me enough for my mortgage, so my mom is going to lend me, she's going to let me use her credit card to pay for this, for July's mortgage. So that sucks, because I already owe her like $1 jillion, so now, let's add that to the pile. And plus, she's a widower on a widow's pension, so I don't really like having to, take her money. So I've been trying to think about things I could do maybe to make some extra money. Like, I've taught myself to macrame. I've also taught myself like 3 new crochet stitches. Maybe later I will film some of the stuff that I've made, because right now I'm like kind of like first of all, they took the stitches out on Tuesday and put steri strips. Let's see, can you see it? I don't know. And I got the puppy resting her head on me. And I got Chloe over there looking at me suspiciously. Anyway, so so I'm trying to see about that, because maybe I could put some stuff on like Facebook or something to sell. Or, of course, the thing is I'll have to have them come to my house, because I, 1, can't drive, and 2, can't drive even if I had my car here. Or I can't drive, and car is not here, so I couldn't even if I could. So anyway, so the mechanic guys, like I said, they're going to fix it, and then they said that they would try to drop it off in the next week or 2. Like, I've already been out for a couple weeks, but they've been swamped, so when they get a chance, they're going to try to bring and then drop it off here, so that, and hopefully at least a few days before I'm supposed to come back, so that I can like practice, getting in and out of the car, because it's really, see, I have, what was my car is I keep wanting to say Corona, but I think that's a beer. Cavalier? I think it's a Cavalier. Chevy Cavalier? 2003. And you could tell looking at it that it's been through some stuff, because I'm a klutz even when I'm driving. I'm a klutz. Just all around klutz. Though really, this car, I had to buy, I got rear-ended in my old car, so this car is like the replacement, and it was already kind of bashed in when I got it, because that's the only reason I could afford it. Hopefully they're going to drop it off enough so that I can practice being able to get in and out of the car, because even before the second surgery, where, I had to stop bending my leg now, the amount I could bend it before that surgery, I was having, like, it hurt every time getting in and out of the car. But at least I could I could like scooch backwards a bit and then kind of like almost like you're like this, kind of reverse like that. Anyway, like I was doing a parking spot, but with my butt and my leg in the car. So that's gonna be one of the tricky things. I could just picture it. I like get to work and then I have to call inside and say, "Can someone come out here and help me get out of this car? Because I'm stuck." Hopefully that won't happen because that's just gonna be awkward. Oh look, she's got a toy. Chloe's got a toy because she's ferocious. So I've been working on, like I said, crocheting and macrame because at least that makes me feel sort of productive, and and some drawings and stuff. So I'm doing that kind of stuff. Also, just trying to like hone my skills in general, so that I'm not just totally wasting this time. But yeah, so it's a kind of a bummer because, like I said, having to borrow the money and stuff. So I gotta figure something out for that. Because, like I said, so people have to come here. Hopefully the girls will intimidate any bad guys from thinking about coming back later to take advantage of a weakened woman. Because you know what? My crutches are metal. I will beat the crap out of somebody with my crutches. I'll use my bayonet training and stab them with my crutch. Of course, it's a rubber tip, so it's probably not going to kill them. But, it might probably still hurt. Stab them in a soft area with the crutch. It still hurt. I don't know. I'm like swing it over their head. My gosh, can you imagine if I had to call the cops and have them come and like I'm here with my leg in a brace and on crutches and there's like some unconscious like bad guy laying in like my doorway or something? That would be so weird. If that ever happened while I'm waiting for the cops, I'd probably try to like film that just so I could show somebody because nobody would ever believe me. So anyway, but like I said, I wanted to update on that. Also, I've got an automatic litter open top thing where it's slowly, very slowly, like the earth. It slowly spins, like where you can't barely tell. And there's two of them, and one's a newer one and one's an older one, even though I got them at like the same time, but like different models. And the motor burned out on it, so I also had ordered a new motor, and so I managed to swap the motors out, so now it works, so I felt all productive as far as like, look at that, I switched a motor on something, so now it works again. So because what it does is they rotate to put the waste onto like a little conveyor belt type thing that then puts them in a little drawer that I line with a bag. So that way, instead of having to hunch over or try to balance on my crutches or whatever, I just have to kind of lean against the wall and bend down and like pull the drawer out, tie up whatever the bag, set it aside, and then put another grocery bag in there and push it back in. So, hopefully that'll, and then of course, then next time someone visits me, I have like a pile of tied up little bags for them to take out to the garbage for me. So that part, less efficient, but at least, their waste is getting, taken care of. And then the litter, that's the other tricky bit, because since the injury, I had ordered some litter that's like in like individual little packets, so that I can just open one and pour it basically even one-handed. But that's only a little bit of litter. Most of the litter that I've accrued is the big old 40-pound bag. So I think I'm going to have to probably cut it open and then get something to scoop with or something and just scoop it from the bag. But at least that's taking care of litter. There's the bins of cat food next to the cat dish, so I can scoop food right into their thing, and then there's water dishes right by the kitchen sink, so I can just extend the sprayer and aim it. Or technically I could lean against the sink, bend down and grab the thing and fill it up at the sink, and then hold on to the edge of the sink while I bend down to put it down. But then I had bought jugs of water that I have by the living room, my command post, and I have a big bowl, and so I keep that filled with that for the dogs, but also for the cats. It's another extra in case the water goes empty and the other things without me noticing, so that I could fill that without having to wander. And then I've got the dog dishes up here, and then a little container that what has a lid, and so I put dog food in it, and then it kind of gets kicked into here, and then it's worth like a week's worth of dog food, so I can just put some in each of their bowls, take care of that, and then I'm right by the front door because I'm sleeping in the reclining chair in the living room. Luckily, I had the forethought way before to buy a nice cushy corduroy type stuffing filled, very comfy couch with the leg rest type thing. So I got that, and then like I said, the front door is like 4 feet away from me, so I can let the dogs out the front door to go potty. Oh, look, she's so ferocious. That's a ferocious puppy right there. I see you being ferocious. Yeah? Oh my goodness. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? The puppies are really appreciating me being here more, though it sucks because I can't take them for walks. So I'm here more, but they're not getting as much exercise as they would when, even when I'm working. So that's kind of a bummer, but, so I'm trying to think, is there anything else? So, and then I put some cooking appliance type things. Basically, I got like, Instapot, and I got a Oven Elite, it's like an air fryer, but basically also like a mini oven, and an egg boiler little device, and a toaster, and a electric kettle. So I have options as far as feeding myself that don't involve having to hobble to the kitchen every 5 seconds or whatever. Also because, I can't carry that much because I'm on crutches, and I'm not supposed to put, it's not like it's just supposed to balance me with the crutches, because then I could just do the one crutch. Like, I'm supposed to do both because I'm not supposed to be putting, all my weight on the one. And so this way I got some bread in here, so I could make toast, just right here. Yesterday, oh yeah, so I kicked into here from the kitchen. Oh, actually, well, 2 things I was able to put in pockets, because the shorts I'm wearing right now have pockets. So a can of cream of mushroom, a can of cream of chicken, and then kicking a bag of egg noodles and a bag of frozen broccoli. And so I put all that in the Instapot and cooked it on the soup setting, and it was actually pretty good. Almost vegetarian if you ignore the fact that there's cream of chicken in it. But it was good. Of course, it was a little tricky when I had to get the remainder of it to the fridge. So that's one of those times where I was probably putting more weight on my leg than I should. But I used it for 2 meals, and I'll eat some more of it today. But I don't have a refrigeration ability in the living room. So that's kind of the other thing, my ingenious thing. Okay, so I've got a dehumidifier up here because I'm only air conditioning basically this one room with a window unit that is of an indeterminate age and inconsistent actually working, cooling things off. And then of course I got fan. I got 2 fans, a floor fan and a fan that you could set on something so I can alternate so that one doesn't overheat from being on nonstop. But in addition to that, it was really muggy and stuff, and that the air conditioner, I'm lucky if it just cools things off in the general sense, but it wasn't going to be able to be also getting all the humidity out, because I was 70% humidity or something. So I got it down to 40% humidity with my dehumidifier. Well, it fills up with water, and so then I got to kind of hobble with it about 7 feet to pour the water out the front door. And because you're not supposed to drink it, you're not supposed to, water plants with it, or something about, because bacteria can build up and blah, blah, blah. Well, the thing is, I've got one of those zero filters, water filter things, where it makes there be 0 particles and 0 whatever in the water. And then it's got a little tester so I can make sure, and right now it's actually gotten to 0.04 or something, and they say once it gets to 0.06 particulates per millions or something, you're supposed to change the filter, which luckily I've got a box with 2 spare filters, and I've set it right next to the water thing. And so now what I'm doing is when the dehumidifier fills up, I'm pouring that water in the top of the 0 water filter thing so that it filters through, and And then there's water, because I don't have any money to have like more jugs of water delivered. And like I said, trying to carry a jugs of water from like filling up at the sink or something is kind of awkward. Plus, the for drinking and stuff, the water from the faucet is kind of like a metallic-y, not a metallic-y rock-like. I don't know. It's just, I worry about, like, even the dogs and the cats. I try to give them filtered when I can. That's the whole reason I had the zero thing in the first place, is I was pouring stuff from the faucet into that and then filling the animal dishes from it so that they were getting filtered. At some point, if I can ever get the water line run from under the kitchen sink to the fridge, then I'd have water coming out the dispenser, which would be way more convenient. And I'd have ice then. That would be sweet. But in my current state, I can't like crawl under a cabinet to hook that up and then try to get behind the stove and all that to like run the line all the way to the fridge. So, that's kind of not a no-go there. And the person that I usually would rely on to help with things has been like, first he was like not available for like months, and then he got kind of like grouchy at me when I asked about if he's still going to be mowing my lawn, because he was like, well, why didn't you tell me weeks ago? And it's like, because I texted you a bunch of times and you never responded, so it's not like I was going to be like, hey, I know you haven't responded to the 15 texts I've sent you in the last month, but I'm going to send you another text about lawn mowing. Like, it's like, no, you're basically, I felt like I was ghosted, basically, so I'm not going to, whatever. So that sucks, because, so now I've got, the neighbor's guy that mows the lawn. I'm paying him $25, to mow my lawn, so that I don't, like, get fined for that and everything. So that, I got that eventually handled, but for a little bit I was getting real nervous because the grass was getting, and before my second surgery, I got to the point where I could kind of mow the lawn. It was like, it took like forever, and I had to keep like, after like, each strip I'd have to like hobble in and like rest for an hour, but, at least the front, and it was only the front yard because the backyard is too dangerous for me to do because it's on a slope, and then there used to be like groundhogs or gophers or something, so, and plus trying to push it like on crutches, that wouldn't even work. But before then, when I was able to walk on both legs, I'm still kind of unsteady, so that seemed like just asking for getting re-hurt. At least not until my leg is like 100% and it's like no brace, and, then, maybe it can handle tripping and stuff. Even then, I'm probably paranoid and wear the brace whenever I'm like... So anyway, so got that handled, sort of. Of course, not having an income, I got some money from Mom to, each week it's like, when she visits or something, it's like, hey, $25 if possible, thank you. So anyways, so things are not ideal, but, nothing is ever so bad that it can't be worse. And, you're like, well, you could be dead. Well, yes, but you could be dead, and then, like, there is heaven, and so actually it would be better in a way, because you'd be in heaven, but then it could be like, well, what if there's an afterlife, but what if there's, like, no afterlife? Well, that sucks. That's not an improvement. Because at that point you don't exist, so then there's no concept of better or worse then at that point. But you're like, well, death, but then you could be in hell, and that's worse, And then I'm sure hell's got all kinds of creative ideas to make things worse, and worse for infinity or something, because, if you're a... What's the word? If you're like a... magical? I don't know. So, I don't know if there's limits on those kind of things, so that, But anyway, so it's, trying to keep on keeping on. Trying not to go too crazy with what I eat as far as... junk food doesn't have to be refrigerated, so I can, like, keep, like, boxes of Pop-Tarts nearby so I can eat that, because I never cooked mine anyways, and even if I did, I could do it in the toaster oven that's now kind of in here, that air fryer thing. But I usually just eat them room temperature anyway, so, it's kind of not the ideal for my waistline and whatnot, but, the dogs love it. Even if I can't play with them the same way right now, they love that they get all day to snuggle. Which, believe me, if I could like work remotely or something and have like money coming in, that would be ideal. I'd love to be able to stay and keep in a snuggly form with my baby girls while I'm, also making sure that money comes in to pay for things, so that would be sweet. Um, but yeah, that's kind of, I think that's just about everything going on. My niece, one of my nieces, might come over today to spend the night to help me, like get like whatever current bags of garbage that I've accumulated, get them out into the garbage can, and any recycling, get that into the recycling bin, so less stuff to trip on and whatnot. To at least get certain piles to like zero, and then maybe some furniture rearranging as far as making something better as far as my little nest area to be more better, like laid out, more efficient. So that's, we'll see how that is. But anyway, sorry this was so long. If anybody has watched it at all, let alone watched it to this point, but sorry this was so long. It's just, I realize it's been a way kind of while since I have updated, and I just wanted to kind of catch anyone who actually cares up to date. And then, just for posterity, because, I've got a ditzy memory in a lot of ways, so, maybe like, assuming everything goes smoothly and I'm still around like 20 years from now, it might be neat to be like, so how were things back then? Back in the good old days, and I'll be like, oh wow, the good old days had some problems here. Oh, okay. So even if it's just from me down the road, or like historians like thousands of years in the future, they'll be like, hey, look at this weirdo that lived back in those times. And then how screwed are you guys if like they use me as a typical example of a normal human? I'm gonna make the whole species look bad. Sorry about that in advance. So anyways, so just updating, and I think somebody wants me to play with her, so I'm gonna do that. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. But look at that noble puppy. Look at that regal bearing. She's a ferocious. Anyways, so that's it. One more thing. The 30th is coming up. So that, I think, says June is only, so Sunday, which will be the 2-year anniversary of Dad dying. So also not a fun thing, but alright, so over and out.